Crystal Quartz from Canada. Crystal, come on in.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. So tell me about Crystal Quartz. Who are you? Where are you from?
So I'm a drag entertainer based out of Ontario in Canada, and I am full-time. So I do 5 to 7 shows roughly a week. And I travel around. I have about 20 venues across Ontario, and I create inclusive spaces within different communities. So I go around and make inclusive spaces in like Boston Pizzas, Kelsey's. We do wineries, breweries. I create safe spaces for those so that they can feel themselves.
Describe creating a safe space. How do you go about that?
So basically what I do is I go in and I perform and I do different things, but by simply being myself, it offers the opportunity for others that they can be themselves in a space where they don't normally feel comfortable.
How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing drag now 18 years. But I recently took on this big project about 3 years ago, and it took off. And so I just kept adding more venues until now I'm like all over the place.
Now, the reason we have you on tonight is the other day I saw you on TikTok and you made a plea. Can you explain what that plea was?
So basically, we're going through the same kind of thing that you guys are going through down there. The problem in which I see is that I feel like our voices aren't being heard, and there's not enough protection before we get to an event. I shouldn't have to wait for violence to happen before I feel like I'm being protected, nor should we have to hire security for me to just do my job. And especially because I have so many venues, these people can keep going around and follow me. And my life is very much out in the open, and I do this every day of the week. So you can find me wherever you want at any point, and these people are welcome to each of these venues to start doing something or threaten or protest or whichever. So once I figured out this is what's going on as bad as it was around here, I decided that I needed to make a plea about it, because I was trying to reach out to enforcement and nothing was happening. And all the other performers that I talked to, nothing was happening with them. They would say things, but nothing was actually being done to prevent this before it got actually bigger.
Okay, what was being done, and who was being called to report it?
So there was a specific group that was targeting each event and telling people to join everybody to come and make it so uncomfortable that everybody would leave.
Do they have a name? Do they have
They do, but I'd rather keep the name out so I don't have a target on my back. Okay. But they do have a name. I just haven't mentioned that because, it could be kind of dangerous around here. But yeah, there's definitely names to them. And they weren't just targeting me. They were targeting a bunch of groups. And then as soon as it got forwarded to me that they were planning to come to my show and ruin it. And then the owners of the venue canceled it because they were scared of what was going on. And so that was October 30th. And then the other week after that got canceled, now on Monday, they threatened another drag story time. And so somebody reached out to me to be like, hey, just so you know, they're at it again. And I'm like, okay, well, I've had enough of this. And it wasn't 2 hours later, and they started threatening coming to my place.
Have there been any actual violence or anything?
So nothing at my events because it's been canceled. And the one that they're planning on coming to is in advance right now. Now, I'm not quite sure if anybody's experienced violence at all of these other events. I haven't dug too much into it. It kind of messes with me. Reading about what's going on and actually finding out more of the stories that you guys are going through. It's just, I don't understand why people have such an issue with me bringing light and love to everybody and making people feel safe.
And yet they'll send their kids to church where all these molesters are.
Yeah.
Like we talked about earlier.
Exactly. I'm just like, it's absolutely mind boggling to me right now.
So what do you think promotes this anger towards us?
Do you know what? Like, I think when people say they're like, it's the devil talking to you, I feel like they maybe enjoy trans women and they see that, kind of that snake with the apple and the story there. They see this as something, satanic because they feel something for it. Either that or they're just so like not comfortable with themselves that they hate to see somebody feeling so comfortable with themselves.
Someone having fun that you don't understand.
Literally, yeah. You don't get it, so it's a crime to you, and it's horrible, and it's a sexual thing, and the whole grooming children. I'm like, ugh, that's not anything that I'm doing at all. I come out there and I do Captain Hook and like Little Mermaid. I make children's lives feel like they're seeing the princess in real life.
There was one comment that some mother wrote, and they said their child was asking about a drag queen. So why do they look like that? And the mother said, "Well, you like to dress up, don't you? You like to put on a costume." The kid goes, "Yeah." He goes, "That's what they're doing.
That's
They're
all.
just putting on a costume. They're
It's
having some fun."
yeah, having fun. Being an actress. Like I always did acting as a child, but male roles didn't suit me. And after that, I did hair and makeup professionally for 20 years. And so now basically what I'm doing is I'm combining my lives and making one life where I make people feel safe and comfortable.
Well, that's just great. That's great. So, what's the support there in Canada? Do you feel
Do
support?
you-
You said you had problems with the law enforcement. Do you?
So originally I did. I wasn't getting back to any of them. They weren't getting back to me. But since that video blew up, um, they're on it now because they got tagged probably 100,000 times between the two accounts. And so my voice is definitely being heard here in Canada, which is great. And I've had so much support. Like it's very overwhelming to look at the messages that I've gotten. It's lovely. Don't get me wrong, but it's like it's this kind of situation. I don't cry often, but it's like it's bringing safety or like threatening to my safety just for me to go to work and just simply being myself is just it's not okay with me. And yeah.
No, it's very good. I'm glad you're being heard, and I'm glad the law enforcement is taking your word on this. That's very good.